experience with this, but is this something that's true, or is this some
I
kind of
don't know.
cliche that I don't know
I
about?
haven't
Or
I
I mean,
haven't been able to really catch that narrative on TV. I mean, of course I've seen hate on TV on all different types of
right,
black TV shows,
right,
Empire, a lot of different types of TV shows where I've seen black hate, but I've also seen a lot of positive stuff, black positivity on TV recently as well. So I can't really say on that narrative, but what I can say is in my personal life, I've had friendships change and evolve over time. I've had a lot of friends come and go in my life, but I do feel similar to your wife in a sense that, yeah, I strike up a conversation with anybody on the street, or strike up a conversation with the man living down the street, or my neighbors in the neighborhood. I'm very, cool with everybody.
mm-hmm,
But to bring them into my personal space, into my personal circle,
right,
to have somebody, you got to get vetted. You got to get past a background check. I need all your information. I need your mommy information. I need your daddy information.
Credit
I
report.
need the credit report. Who are you really?
Right.
I need all that because you have to protect yourself. You don't know what people's true motives are,
Right.
and sometimes and a lot of times it's different with men than it is with women,
Right.
because women, a lot of times you can have more passive friendships with women, where a lot of times if men really want to be your friend, they want to get to know you, they want to chill with you, they want to they want to know who you really are. So you have to be more careful. So I do see a lot more of that, but as far as like being friendly to people, having a friend and going out and all that stuff, no, I don't see a difference.
It's hard for me to speak to because I'm not of this generation.
Right.
But however, from what I've been able to observe, and I don't think I've seen on television the same. I'm like Dejan on this. I haven't noticed something on television like this.
Okay.
Only in the sense that seems like most shows are about young people,
Mhm.
so that's who they're going to be on. And I also noticed with white show, girls, they were kind of mean to each other. They were all different and weird, and they weren't nice to each other, but they always were there for each other when at the end when somebody really needed them.
Mm-hmm.
And I always seem that's been a narrative of shows like that forever. Sex
Yeah.
and the City
Right.
was like that too. I do think that the millennials are less homogenized than previous generations because they've had more opportunities to have different experiences. Nobody was keeping
Mm-hmm.
gay people from them, and nobody was
Mhm.
keeping stuff. They know more about the world when they enter the world than previous generations did because of the freedom that has been allowed. So I think they're less homogenized. You find it seemed not the black people or white people, we're not all the same, obviously.
Right.
But I still feel when I was in college, there were still only maybe 5 archetypes of black guys at my school, and now I feel like there would be several more, because you've been able to there's experiences that were open to black young people that weren't open to us, so that just made their experience broader. So
Yeah.
you might find somebody that grew up in the hood but also plays highlight or
Right.
some shit like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Is and cool and got all these white friends that they play highlight with, and then they go back and play their hip hop with their other friends or whatever, and play basketball, whatever the case may be.
Right.
That's what I've noticed.
Mhm.
But I don't know if their friendship is based off of necessarily haterade. I think the TV writing.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's based off of that. I just feel like I just see a lot of, I see a lot of, these groups of young black men, and I'm like, wow, that's not my experience with my friends. We don't go each other. Now, don't get me wrong. We clown each other. We talk about each other teasingly. We play with each other, but we don't put each other down.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't. And I see.
But see, I feel again, that's it. Martin, they was friends. All they did was talk some shit about each other.
That's true.
That's true.
And living single, they weren't. They talk shit about each other.
Yeah, they did.
They did. But you put up because they're your friends.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be the friend, at least 2 friends in the group that don't get along at all. They get along with everybody but each other.
But each other.
Right.
Or that one that's always oh, we keep her around because she's sharp.
Right.
But look out for the other side of her.
Right.
Everybody in the group know that.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we will clown each other. And we'll talk about. Well, let me see if I can give an example to see if I can kind of differentiate what I mean. I was watching. There's the new Boomerang, the TV show Boomerang for BET or whatever. So they dropped the first 2 episodes, so we were checking that out. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't blatant as some like the game. Like on that one it was much worse. But just in the first episode I kind of noticed like there was this one friend who wants to be a director, and he started this web series and this and that. And his boys, they was kind of shitting on his web series, or in his career, saying that he wasn't doing that, and his little web series didn't count. That. Like we kind of didn't. We don't do that kind of stuff. We don't put each other down when people are like making strides or towards to better themselves or their career, whatever. You know what I mean? We don't.
Yeah, no.
We might. Like I said, we will clown each other, but I don't know. I don't. It feels a little more malicious. It might be just me being nitpicky. I don't know. But like I said, I've seen much more egregious. Like I said, the game, it was much worse. That type of thing. And it was one of the first shows I first noticed it. But I don't know.
I think it's the writing. Because I think of like a show like Insecure. They don't fight all the time on that show. Not in a malicious way, in a friend way.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's like, you hurt me, you did me wrong, and they have a fight about that, or passive aggressive about it, or don't speak about it, and they talk to other characters about their problems. But they're not like they're happy. Like, oh, you got a promotion at your law firm, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you finally got your life together.
It does feel like that's a sort of a trope of some black writers that they feel like the put downs are funny for some reason. Like
go your mama.
Like I've said this on the show that my problem with the one thing, my biggest problem with Blackish is I hate Dre's relationship with his son.
Yeah, he's mean to him.
That's not
like
funny.
You'll never be
me.
as good as me.
He puts him down every chance he gets. And they've kind of dealt with it on the show lately, a couple times, and but he still does it. And I don't. It's not. I don't understand why that's supposed to be funny. It's like it feels hurtful.
Well, you know what's the irony of that is it's supposed to be built off again, like the idea that his father treats him that way,
right? Which is like that even makes it more sad.
Exactly, because it's funny when the old guy does it because he's from a different generation, even though in real life they're like 6 years apart.
Right? Exactly.
But he's from another generation,
right?
And then you would think that he'd be a different father to show that contrast of like where we come.
Right. Well, breaking the cycle.
Exactly. Yes, she said it.
The whole breaking the cycle thing, but no, they didn't take that opportunity to take that. No, they didn't. They chose to keep the same narrative.
It might be that it's just a little too close for home for me. That, you know what I'm saying? That maybe other people find it funny, and I just don't, just because it's just a little too real for me.
Yeah, no, that's not funny, though. Like to put your child down, I don't think that's funny.
Well, I mean, of course, in real life, it's not.
No, but, even some ways that they do it on Blackish, it's not funny.
You don't think it's funny either?
No, not all the time. It doesn't land well all the time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know if it's just, because I got one friend, and we've had this discussion, and we've had this, but I feel like he's kind of broken. Because every time we have this discussion about men, kind of like father figures, treating their sons, whether it's their sons or their figurative son, like Dre, because we talked about it with Blackish, we talked about it with Game of Thrones, we talked about it. He's always like, oh, you didn't pledge, huh? I'm like, no, I didn't pledge.
No,
and
not signing up for nobody to beat me.
And then thank you.
To be my brother.
Right? Thank you. I don't need that. So, and then, he says like, oh, my dad, like to him, it's like, it's just real life. And I get that it's real life, but that's not always the case. And that's not the case that it should be. And I just don't really feel like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it.
I'm not a fan either.
I'm just not a fan of it.
And I mean, again, if it actually was funny, that'd be another story.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Blackish is a funny show, but I don't like that aspect either. I don't think it's funny.
Thank you. Okay. I feel better now, because I was wondering if it was just me or not.
No, I'm all for, camaraderie and all that. But when it comes to all that extra stuff, no. It's just a club like anything else is a club.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on with our show. We got a kind of a dark show today, but I think it's a good show. I think this show, when I was putting it together, reminded me of our girl Mindy. Mindy from the Jason and Mindy podcast, because it's got like true crime and
I love crime.
really dark.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it had words we couldn't pronounce.
What?
I thought you were going to say it had words we couldn't pronounce.
News and noteworthy. The Shiznit.
Okay, a Canadian serial killer got caught red-handed with his 9th victim.
Well,
Yeah.
Only in Canada. Well, I guess not.
Well, no, not only in Canada, but in Canada this time.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And it's funny because, Canada is known for being, much more civil and peaceful and not as violent. But it doesn't mean that they're, totally without any violence either.
Right.
So this case comes to us from Canada. Bruce McArthur, 67, pleaded guilty. There's a lot of pleading guilty today too. I think almost all of our stories, everybody pled guilty. So Bruce McArthur, 67, pleaded guilty last week to murdering 8 men, gay men.
Oh.
Yeah, in Toronto, and is now awaiting sentencing. McArthur, who worked as an independent landscaper, hid his victim remains in large planters after he dismembered them, right? He would dismember them and then hide them in large planters on a property he used for storage.
Wow.
He was arrested after a string of deaths and disappearances from Toronto's gay village, which left residents frightened that the police were not taking enough action, against someone they thought was targeting their community.
Of course.
Right.
You better fucking do some shit.
Yeah, also, people start going missing.
Right.
Right.
And like, this bar was much fuller last week.
Yeah. Like, we miss it. This is our village. Where's John? Where's Jacob? Where's everybody?
Actually, I kind of know the story a little bit. Actually, it was all was Asian men?
Mostly South Asian and Middle Eastern men.
Wow, I wonder why.
Mostly because they were closeted.
They were in the closet.
Oh.
They were in the closet. Some of them, and then some of them were like maybe homeless or didn't have stable places to live, like in between houses.
Transients.
Like that. Right. So that was part of his MO, so that they would be, he would be harder to catch.
Yeah.
So their parents ain't thinking, oh, they're down at the gay place.
Right.
Or they're not keeping up with them because they might have turned their back on them.
Right. And then also, if the police don't know that they're gay men that are missing, they just think they're just straight men,
right,
then that changes the whole
dynamic,
procedure of how they investigate and everything else. You know, so it makes it harder for them to catch him.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. So he'd killed 8 men, and the 9th one, when they showed up at his place with a search warrant and everything, was chained to his bed in his bedroom.
Oh my God!
He was about to kill him, and they found on his computer a file with the name of each victim, and in the victim, he had a file on them with pictures and social media, different things.
Research.
Research for stalking them.
Oh, he stalked them prior, because that's what I was going to ask. I know I had questions.
Yeah, he stalked them prior to killing them.
Yeah, I was going to ask how he know where they was from, how he know all this stuff about them.
Yeah, he stalked them, and the last man that he had tied up or chained up or whatever, he had a folder just like the rest. So he was definitely planning on killing him as well.
Oh my God! This is a real life murder movie.
Oh yeah, serial killer.
I think they all are.
Really, right? You know what I'm saying?
Because it's kind of incredible every time. I'm like, what?
Oh my God, he had files.
Yeah, he had a file.
He was keeping very good records.
He was.
But see, that always gets into that thing where you always like, oh, they're mentally unstable. They're not in their right mind. Meticulous. Like
he should have been like an accountant.
And that's why not everyone who is insane is not not guilty because of insanity. You know what I mean? Because just because you're insane doesn't mean you don't know that you're doing something wrong.
Right.
And that's all that's needed to prosecute you.
Right.
That's to know that you're, so.
I'm surprised actually by that in this country because we still believe in the Bible so strongly and good and evil.
Right.
And the court system, the prosecutors always make the guilty the person they're trying to be guilty evil.
Right.
So you would think like, well, he insane, but he's evil.
Yeah.
Right.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
He's evil. Like Lex Luthor insane.
Yeah. They call him the criminally insane.
Yeah.
So
I would have been like, look at these records, look at these photos, look at all this information that he has. He could have been an accountant, but no.
He's been on their radar since like 2003. Well, I'm sorry, not on their radar since 2003. He's only been on their radar since like 2016.
And that's the problem that bothers me there. Because how are you on somebody's radar, but you're not keeping a close eye enough on that person to make sure they're not murdering people and keeping